We're live. Hey everybody, it's Peter. It's Thursday night, which means it's time for Star Trek Picard, Episode 2, Maps and Legends. Before I get started, don't forget to like, hit subscribe, hit notifications, because it does help for me and the YouTube algorithm. So let's just jump into it. First, I want to say that actually I prefer watching the final season episode of The Good Place rather than watching this episode. Excuse me. I wasn't drawn into this. There's nothing memorable about this series at all. Right now, again, we're just starting off. It's, episode 2. But I just thought about it too. Even the theme song for this series, I don't even remember Discovery's theme song. I don't even remember DS9, except for it had the boong effect as the comet goes through. Voyager, I don't remember. But you remember, TNG. You remember, the original Star Trek, because TNG is based on, Jerry Goldsmith. Dun, 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 dun. This is like piano, the horns, music, credits, nothing. And unfortunately, I'm getting nothing with this. I may or not spoil this. I'm going to touch on a few subjects of this episode, but this was not an exciting episode for something that was exciting happened the episode before, where, you got to meet Daj. That's another complaint I have about the show too. You can't remember these names. I don't know the 2 Romulans that hang out with Picard. Daj, trying to remember that name. I had to look up how you spell that. There's some more other new names coming up. The Romulan we saw at the end of the season, he comes back again. His name is, I had to write it down, Narek. I can maybe remember. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of backstory, a lot of exposition in this, because we're trying to get everybody caught up what's going on. Even, Alison Pine's character. I know it's Alison Pine. Don't know her character's name. So basically, we're picking up where we left off, where Picard with his 2 Romulan housekeepers, guests, whatever, help him figure out, okay, what happened with the explosion? Why is there no, video record? That kind of thing. I'm sorry, I forgot. There was a teaser in the beginning where we get to see what happened with the Battle of Mars 14 years ago and the uprising of the synths. You have to see a day in the life of a synthetic. Basically, they're all bald-headed with glassy eyes like Data, and they're just like a workforce. Excuse me. The sad thing is, and maybe that's what started the uprising, we don't know, but people that work with the synths don't like them. It always reminded me of the Voyager episode where you find out that all the Mark I EMHs were delegated to mine work and other things. And then when the Doctor found out about that, he made a holodeck program about life and times of being a hologram. And how hard down he felt like this. And this sort of struck me the same way. You've got these androids, same thing. They're basically working class, and but the people they're working with, they joke and whatever, and hey, I'm telling you a joke. I don't get it, because he doesn't have a sense of humor. He's just a mechanical being. But obviously enough, they don't explain why or how. They figure out how to start a little revolution, and you get to see the Battle of Mars happening and the ships firing like we saw in Children of Mars. And then we cut and roll the credits. And that's when I noticed, that song doesn't cue in, and it's a really weird thing. And I thought the weird thing is too, at the end of the opening credits, it says Star Trek Picard, and here's his picture. Or no, it's his picture, and then Star Trek Picard. Majority of people are going to be fans. We know who Picard is. We know who the show is about. Why do we have to have his face? It'd be like watching Star Trek and seeing Bill Shatner's face, or any other shows. You never saw the character's face in the show. The only time I know, when you're watching other shows or whatever, and maybe they're rolling credits and they're going like, oh, here's so-and-so, and here's their name, and blah, blah, blah. But Star Trek doesn't really need to have that kind of, opening credit exposition. Oh, by the way, here's our main character right here. He's here. It's Picard. So we come back from break, and he's talking with the Romulans, and they're trying to figure out what happened with Dodge. She blew up, whatever. There's no record. You find out actually that like I said, other than Googling, I'm going to be lazy. I'm not going to look. But I see the lady Romulan of Picard's household reveals that she is, hang on, secret word. She used to be part of the Dodge Watch. Again, name I can't say it, which is supposedly the super secret underlaying, who's even more super secret than the Tal Shiar of the Romulans. And I thought, oh, there's Tal Shiar. And like, no, we've got a new name. It's like, for years, and you're an American, there's the FBI, the CIA, and then one time pops up, boom, oh, there's the NSA. NSA, no such address. Who are these guys? It's like, oh, you've heard of the KGB. Well, there's these other guys that are even more secretive and more worse than the KGB. But we don't talk about them because we don't know who they are. They're so secret that, nobody knows. And I thought, well, okay, that's a stretch, but I guess I thought why not just make them, Tal Shiar. Tal Shiar was a sort of a secret bunch, and they had their underhandedness, that kind of thing. So Picard and the Lady Romulan go off to investigate everything from, well, we can't get any video feed. Well, let's go check out Dodge's apartment, and they have a special scanner, and they can sweep the room, and there's no record there because supposedly it was swept by the, again, I'm not going to be able to say that name, the Dodge, whatever, the super secret Romulan spy group. Let's just call them the super secret spies. Like, again, I am not being drawn into this. I can tell you that right now. There's nothing interesting other than, oh, there's more of this, there's more of that. It's nothing really. So they can't find out who actually did all this because everything has been scrubbed, as they say. So Picard figures, you know what? I've got enough information. Something went wrong with Dodge. Something involving Commander Data. Something involving Bruce Maddox. I'm going to go to Starfleet headquarters, and I'm going to get reinstated and get a strike team or a super secret team, my own super secret team, to find out what's going on with these super secret other guys, and we're going to do that. And I caught a couple other reviews earlier today just to find out what I'm going to be heading into. And I remember the scene. There is a scene with Picard, the Admiral of Starfleet. Again, I don't remember her name. Again, not memorable characters. It's like, oh, there's a white-haired admiral here with, the ranking system, which looks like something out of Star Trek Online. And it looks like the badges they're using are from, I think, the episode where Riker was tricked by the Romulans, and they gave him a different badge to wear, that kind of thing. So the uniforms, I don't mind. My other complaint, and I said this last time too, I don't like the wardrobe for the civilians. It's 21st century wardrobe. Picard was wearing a shirt with buttons on it. Alison Pill had a sort of modified business suit that would be of today. And I remember somebody saying from last week too, Dodge said, dude, and commented that those two characters before the Romulans jumped in, they were talking like a couple of millennials. And this is supposed to be the future. I know we want to include the audience and that sort of thing, but if I want to see something like relating to today's things, I'll watch a modern day show. When I'm watching a science fiction show, that was the only good joke in Picard. When Alison Pill later on is visiting Picard, and they're talking about Bruce Maddox again, I think she picked up a book off of Picard's shelf, and it was an Isaac Asimov book, and said, "Oh, this is an interesting read." And maybe it was the iRobot book. I didn't catch the title. And then Picard made the comment of, yeah, I couldn't really get into science fiction. And I just started laughing because it's sort of very kind of a meta joke. Science fiction characters talking about science fiction, which is kind of funny. So they talk about, again, what could happen. Could there be okay, there's the twin. Where are we going to find Soji? They don't know it's Soji, but we, the audience, know it's Soji, who's on the reclamation Borg cube out in space somewhere. Then we cut back over to that. We find out, okay, what's going on over there. And the person, Narek, or whatever his name, who befriended Soji at the end of episode 1. They went to bed already. So I guess this is, again, these things kind of happen, but it doesn't draw me in. Oh, yeah, there's sex in space, but all these things going on. And when Picard goes visit the Admiral, what are they doing? They're arguing, they're shouting. I mean, you're professionals. Why do you have to argue and shout? What for? Some of these things don't make, talk like regular people. You can have a heated argument. You don't have to shout or stand or raise your voice and, you know what, I don't like what you're saying to me. So, I don't want to go into too much explain. We're going to end up explaining the plot, which I really don't want to do. Basically, if you're a big-ass fan of Picard and you like Kurtzman's work and whatever else, you're going to like this. But if you're like me and some of the other people out there that I follow, and I'm waiting for the Red Letter Media guys, Mike and Rich, they'll probably come out with a really good review probably by beginning of next week, and they're probably going to rip in a new one because I got nothing really to say about this other than, I was finding it was more interesting to go back and watch the season finale of season and series finale of The Good Place, which actually was more interesting characters, even though that's a comedy, totally different genre. But that drew me in. There's points of it where that didn't make sense, but near the end, this was getting good and had a nice, good 1 hour finale. And then they talked to the cast at the end with with Seth Meyers, and that was more interesting than Picard. Nothing interesting at all, really. You find out backstories on the characters, what's going on. You find out also that there's secret agents in Starfleet, which is the Judge Fosh Asians masquerading as humans. Actually, no. One is agent of the Commodore in charge of Federation Security, who's a Vulcan. I think Commodore O. I don't know how that's spelled, or a Vulcan with the name of a O. Normally it would be like a T'Pol or T'Pol or T'Pau, something like that. But it's like O. Sort of like, oh, there's an name I can remember. Oh. And then you find out that this, Lieutenant Riza, who's a secret Romulan agent disguised as a Starfleet officer, and she's, I don't know if it is brother and sister to Narek, who's hiding out in the Borg cube, and he's trying to covert or find out what's going on with Soji. But again, it's all mysterious and obscure and through me. So, I really got nothing else to say about this other than it's rather tedious. Nothing, and I don't need to have explosions. Oh yes, I know there's a lot of lens flare in this episode too. So a lot of things just putting me off. Nothing to really draw me in. Okay, there's stuff going on with the characters, and Picard goes chasing after some people he knows because he really wants to get this team going. So he's going to do it on his own because Starfleet said, no, you're not going to do it. And he's going to do that. But we've seen the trailers. We know he's going to get a ragtag crew together. He's going to captain a ship, and they're going to go find. Now we find out he's going to go try to find Bruce Maddox and Soji and see what's going on with that and see if he can maybe find Data. We don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Do you know? So yeah, if your thoughts, post them down below in the comments. Don't forget again, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I am back on doing this, even though this is boring as hell for a Star Trek episode. Even the fact that it's Patrick Stewart, and Patrick Stewart's acting pretty good, but the rest of the characters, this is not Star Trek. I'm going to already look at it like I did with season 1 of Discovery, after the Captain Mudd episode. I'm going to watch it as a sci-fi show. And it's not even good sci-fi. It's still kind of soapy. It's trying to be something that I don't know what it's trying to be and what the writers are trying to do, or the showrunners. I have no idea. So good luck and live long and prosper, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, see you guys in the next one.